Hey, what's up guys and girls, and welcome back to Savage Gaming and another quick tutorial video in Oxygen Not Included. And today I'm going to show you guys a little bit about sustainable farming and sustainable food, early, mid-game, definitely not late game, but early to mid-game. It's quite simple. Some of the stuff is a little bit complicated, so try and bear with me. I'll start off with the simplest stuff. So when you're starting out your base, the first thing you want to get going is farm plots or planters. You just do that in the research tab. So if we go up to the top here, you'll see that one of the first things is basic farming, which you get a planter box, and then a little bit or a step further, you're going to get the farm tile, you're going to get the egg cracker, and you're going to get the electric grill. So those are going to be sort of the ones you want to get first. Farm plots, the reason I say get those is because they take up less space. In other words, height space here. When you've got a planter and then a plant in it, you lose that top space, which you can use later on for decor or morale. That's the first thing you want to do, guys. Plant your mealwood seeds into your farm tiles. Get that going. It takes, I think it's 4 or 5 farm plots or mealwoods per duplicate. But in the beginning, you can only have like 3 or 4 duplicates, so don't stress too much about that, and you've got a little bit of startup food. The next thing you want to get is bristle blossoms. These require light, so I've put ceiling lights up here. They do create a little bit of heat, so bear that in mind because these plants do have a survivable range of heat. So like you see here, 5 to 30 degrees Celsius on the bristle blossom, and on the mealwood, they've got a livable range of 10 to 30 degrees Celsius. So you're just going to have to keep an eye on your temps as well. But that's going to be for the early game, easy, good food, sustainable, no problem. You'll just keep going further and further and keep feeding your dupes, but you want to start giving your dupes better food. And the way you want to do that is through ranching. Now, easy ranching, this goes credit to Francis John. He was the guy who sort of showed me this, and I saw it and I was like, this is awesome, it's brilliant, works just very, very well. Basically, very simple. You're going to want to build a critter drop-off, set the amount of critters you want it to drop off. Don't set it to maximum, because if you want the ranching benefit, you need to create a stable. So you'll see these rooms are yellow. If I hover over them, it says stable, 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 stable. The maximum size is 96 tiles. These are currently 89 tiles, so I can't have 7 critters. I can have 6 critters. And what you're going to want to do is build a little doorway here with a tile on top so they can't jump over. And that will, keep the hatches and the eggs they lay within the range of an auto sweeper, which we'll get to shortly. The next thing you want to build is a grooming station. This is so that you can tame your hatches and groom them to keep them happy, which will increase their chances of laying eggs. The third thing you're going to need there is you're going to need some critter feeders, obviously to feed them. I suggest using sedimentary rock, and the reason I say that is because in the beginning you're only going to have the normal hatches, so you're going to have that little purpley pink hatch with the dots on it. That hatch, if you feed it sedimentary rock, it'll give you stone hatches, and stone hatches, they poop coal, which is great because now you've got an infinite supply of coal for your coal generators, and you've got power. So this is great for early to mid game. I put storage boxes here just to store the coal so it doesn't get too crowded in there. But yeah, it's a nice little place to put it, and the auto sweeper will also just automatically store the coal when there's space. That's pretty much how I do it there. From a shipping perspective, you are going to make sure, or need to make sure, that you have a duplicate that has got the mechatronics engineering skill. So you're not going to be able to set this up too early, because obviously you need to level up your dupes to get to mechatronics engineering. That'll enable them to build the auto sweeper and the conveyor loader, which brings us to that. Now the auto sweeper will sweep up anything on the ground that has got a place to go. So here we've set this to sedimentary rock. Here we've set this to coal. So what will happen is, obviously if this wasn't full, this sweeper would pick up the coal and put it in that box and put it in that box. The other thing you want to do is put in your conveyor loader. Set this conveyor loader to eggs. So initially you're probably not going to want to do hatchling eggs, because you're going to need those eggs to make more hatches to put into the rest of your little stables. But sage, smooth, stone, at the moment I've got stone because I've got enough stone hatchlings. I don't need to worry about it. But initially you won't have stone ticked here, you'll have it deticked. Then if we go to our shipping overlay here, you'll go from this conveyor loader. You'll see from each one I've got it branching out here, and it's going straight up across here, down, 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 and it goes to a conveyor chute. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Once the egg has been hatched, the auto sweeper will pick it up, put it into the loader, and it'll drive it through, come out the conveyor chute, and the egg will sit down here under some water. Now what will happen is the egg will incubate. Once the egg's finished incubating, the baby will hatch. It'll then drown because it can't get out. Once it drowns, it'll die and turn into meat. Your barbecue, or your electric grill here, make sure it's set to barbecue. So that's going to always request meat. This auto sweeper will then reach in here, pick up the meat and put it into the grill. Your dupe will come and make barbecue. Then down here I've gone a bit overkill with 4 fridges. You don't really need that much, maybe you can get away with 2. Then I've set the fridges to take obviously barbecue and some other cooked food as well. What will happen is once the barbecue is cooked, the dupe drops it on the floor. This auto sweeper here will pick it up and it'll put it in the fridge. What you also want to make sure is that this auto sweeper's range cannot reach this bit here. You don't want it picking up meat and doing all kinds of strange things. So keep them a little bit separated and you'll be fine. And you'll have a good food storage. It's not an infinite food storage. There's ways of doing that with chlorine and things like that. But at this stage of the game, this is more than enough, and it'll last you a good few hundred cycles, no problem. And I mean, I'm only supporting 15 duplicates at the moment, so I don't need more than this. It's more than enough. And that's that. The other thing, the last thing you need to remember, and it's one of the first things you're going to need to do, and I should have actually said this earlier in the video, but you're going to have to build incubators. You don't need to power them. Just remember that, guys. Don't power them. They use up power. It's unnecessary. You can just take your set it up to say stone and say incubate, and you'll see one of my dupes will quickly run here. They'll fetch the stone hatchling egg, and they will then go drop it off into the incubator. And all that is your dupes. Your hatches are gonna, their life cycle is about 100 cycles. So after 100 cycles, they're gonna start dying off. Like, yeah, this one's empty. It's only got 1 critter in. This one's only got 1 critter in. So they're going to start dying. So you're going to need to replenish your hatches. And that's what the incubators are for. So this is a free way to incubate them. Once they hatch, it's easy. Once they've hatched, the dupe will automatically come and fetch them and drop them off into the stable. So there you go. I mean, you don't need to power it. You don't need to monitor it. All you're going to have to do at the end of the day, and don't set them to continuous. Please don't do that, because then you're going to run out of eggs and you're going to have no place to put all the hatches. So just put them on single use. So like I've got here, no continuous clicked, just single use. And when they hatch, they will go in. So yeah, I'll need 5, 10. Yeah, I need 10. So and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoop, that clicked on the wrong thing there. Let me go back. Whoop, 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 whoop. Where are we? There we go. So I'll just click on there. I'll say stone hatch, incubate, stone hatch, incubate. So now I have almost enough to actually replenish my stables and keep my food going. But you can already see here, I've got 425,000 food. That's more than enough to keep my duplicates going while these incubate and hatch. And these ones are going to be laying eggs anyway, which are going to go here. As you can see, I've got a hell of a lot of eggs. It's going off the screen. I probably have 30 or 40 eggs there. So don't worry about that. That's a good sustainable way. Your dupes can live off just barbecue if you want to do that. I've got fried mushroom still going because I am still farming the dust caps. I am still farming bristleberries. So bristleberry is a cooked version of bristleberry. Just keeping that going. Frostbun is because I got a lot of sleet wheat as well, because I've dug into quite a few of the snow biomes. You can grow your own sleet wheat, but yeah, I mean there's so much of it, depending on the map you're on, that I've just kept going. Just because I want to keep the calories up. If something goes catastrophically wrong in my base and I lose all my hatches or something for argument's sake, or they all die off and I got no more hatches or anything like that, or I've got no eggs or something, at least there is a backup supply. So that's kind of why I keep it going. You can, if you go to consumables, you can click on there and you can tell your dupes what you want them to eat and what you don't want them to eat. So if I don't want them to eat mushrooms anymore, I just detick that. They won't eat mushrooms. If I don't want them to eat fried mushrooms, they won't eat fried mushrooms.
If I don't want them to eat pickled meals, I just de-tick it, they won't eat it. So you can do that at the end of the day as well, just to manage what food your duplicants are eating and to ensure that they're eating good food and that their morale stays up. So that's it for the video, guys. I hope it was informative. I try to make it as quick as possible, but this game is very complicated, so it is very difficult to make it that easy. But I tried my best. I hope it helped you. Please leave a like if it did. Please subscribe if you want to see more. And as usual, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.